Thank you. I'm Stu Mitchell, the founder and CEO of Novuson, where we are clearing the way for safer surgeries by eliminating the excessive burning of patients' tissue and the associated smoke that's generated by the burning of the tissue. So have you ever wondered what happens during a surgical procedure? Did you know that during the current surgical devices use that the tissue gets burnt and the ORs can fill with smoke? So this is what surgeons see when they're performing procedures with the current technologies. The surgical field is filled with smoke. This obscures the surgeon's field of vision. The excess of tissue damage and smoke causes avoidable complications. Now, if we put this in perspective, about 50% or a third of all surgeries have complications. 50% of those are considered avoidable. 3/4 are due to technical errors. Complications cost the hospital system $215 billion per year. So if you think about it, if the surgeons can't clearly see what they're doing surgery on, the likelihood of error increases significantly. So how bad is it? Currently, about half the states in the country have passed laws mandating the mitigation of surgical smoke. This affects over 1 million healthcare workers every year. So our competitor's solution is to sell you another device to suck the smoke out of the OR or out of the surgical field. Novuson's solution, just don't generate it in the first place. Our competitive advantage is clear. We operate at about 1/4 of the temperature of the current devices on the market. We use direct therapeutic ultrasound, we weld the tissue together from the inside out, and we use ultrasound to cut the tissue. So this is our technology being used in an animal model. Maybe. There it goes. We do things a little different. As I indicated, we use direct therapeutic ultrasound, welds the tissue from the inside out. We don't burn or char the tissue. We don't have excessive tissue damage. The ultrasound energy is used to weld the tissue together. The ultrasound energy is used to cut the tissue. This eliminates the burning, the smoke, and makes for a more precise, clearer, and safer surgery. Our value proposition, we have value proposition for all stakeholders, the patients, the providers, the payers. We're safer, clearer, more precise, which will result in fewer complications. Electrosurgical devices similar to this that I have up here are used in about 90% of all surgical procedures. At Novuson, we are working on laparoscopic devices in-house. This is a razor blade business model. We also have another aspect of our business model, which is integrating our technology into surgical robotic or endoscopic platforms. Overall, the surgical device market is a $10.2 billion global market. Has over 400 million surgical procedures performed every year, about 400,000 surgical suites where the capital equipment can be placed. 4 different verticals in the surgical space. It's minimally invasive, general surgery, robotic, endoscopic surgery. Novuson's technology can be integrated into any of these surgical platforms. We're initially focusing on the US market, primarily with laparoscopic and surgical robotics collaborations. We're going to launch into the ambulatory surgical space, working with early adopters, universities, people that are eager to get the new technologies out on the market. We're going to have them do clinical studies, do research, do publications, and collaborate with professional societies. Towards the end of our run, we'll be hiring sales and marketing managers. Well, not the end of our run, but the end of our initial launch, we'll be hiring sales and marketing managers and continue working with our strategic collaborations. Using this model, we'll hit over $30 million in revenue by 2028. And this is with just 3 of our products on the market and 2 strategic collaborations going into 240 surgical suites in the US alone. That's out of 35,000 surgical suites that are available, capturing less than 1% of the surgical procedures. Very conservative estimates. We've met with all these strategics. We've demonstrated our technology to all of them. They're all like our technology. They're interested in it. They're waiting for us to get regulatory clearance, which is what we're working on right now. Last acquisition in this space was Hologic. They acquired a company for $160 million. We look to exit in about 2 to 4 years via strategic acquisition. So these are the comps in this space. The reason I pull this site up is Novuson has achieved what these companies have achieved in the same amount of time on about 1/4 of the capital. Our management team has experience in technology, business, finance, product commercialization. We have experienced entrepreneurs with successful exits. Gene and I sold our first business after 10 years, taking a $100,000 investment to $1 million a month in revenue before we exited by a strategic collaboration. Here with me today is actually Mark Pearson, who is an experienced surgical device executive. He's taken surgical technologies, our competitors' technologies, to market, has about 35 years worth of experience. Our board of directors consists of people in business and finance, and our medical advisory board consists of surgeons and other surgical specialties that require a smaller, safer device. We also have the chief medical officer of Banner Health on our medical advisory board, who's going to help us and guide us in our commercialization efforts. Over the next 1 to 2 years, we'll be raising about $15 million in preferred equity round. We're currently working on the first tranche of that, which is up to $3 million to get to our first device through regulatory clearance. Objective is to bring the first-in-class 3mm mini LS to market. Right now, we're raising it at $12 million valuation. Once we get regulatory clearance, that will likely triple. These are the milestones that we're working on currently and the cost associated with these milestones. This is what we're raising money for. All of these things are in progress. We can go over those in more details if you're interested in meeting with me after the meeting. And our basic timeline. We're working on our evaluation studies right now. We will have 510(k) clearance by the end of this year, beginning of next year. Then we'll do our post-regulatory marketing, post-regulatory studies, and be acquired in 2028. 2024 traction. We got about $1 million into the company last year. We brought on Steve Walensky, the Chief Medical Officer of Banner Health, Mark Pearson and Mary Weiss joined our team, who are experienced executive in taking medical technologies to market. Brought on a couple of IR people to help us with the investor relations, Claire Dillow, Lily Holiday, and our validation studies are underway. Highlights since the company started. We have $500,000 in pre-commercialization revenue. That's for a strategic collaboration in surgical robotics. Overall, $11 million all-in capital into the company. About 1/3 of that was non-dilutive funding. Current raise, we have about $500,000 either invested or soft circled. Our current investors have put in about another $800,000. We have 5 prototypes used in over 1,000 studies. Many of those are performed by surgeons. For our 3mm device, it's a direct 510(k). That's what we're working on. We have 18 patents. We have strategic investors, and we have a few accolades along the way. So thank you. Please help me in making surgery safer and more precise.